we are going to break down the warrior sequence. So the first thing I would like to break down is warrior one. So you want to place your hands into your hips. You want to make sure your feet are hip width apart. You're bending the knee and stepping the right leg back. And we tend to step our heel together, and so it's in one straight line, and it's hard for our right hip to square forward. So what we want to make sure is that the feet are hip width apart and that we can now use our hands to guide our hip forward. And the right heel is pressing down with the right toes pointing forward, so you can tell that you're in the right position because you can feel your calves open. Now you're going to lunge into your left knee, and that all depends on how deep you want to go in the pose. So maybe if you look at the side profile, you can see my lunge. Sometimes we just want to lunge a little bit so our knee is bent just a tiny bit, or if you want to get in deeper, you want to lunge forward. The one thing you want to make sure is that you're not over lunging and that the knee is passing the heel, because that is a lot for the knees to handle. So once the knee and the heel are in one line, you can lift your hands up to the sky in warrior one. So there's a tendency to pop up the ribs, and this is the warrior one. And what we're doing here is just collapsing into our low back. So we really want to engage the core by bringing the ribs in and the belly button back. So the core has nowhere to go but to be engaged. So this is warrior one. Then we transition into warrior two. So you can heel toe your back foot. And the difference between warrior one and warrior two is that the right foot is parallel to the back of the mat, and that the heel is intersecting the back leg. So it's kind of making that T position. So what this is an external rotation of the hips, so it opens our hips wide, and we can work on lunging into the knee. Again, you don't want to over lunge, and you want to find a place where the knee and the heel stack. And with this lunge, you just want to make sure that you can either lunge deep, that eventually the thigh becomes parallel to the mat, and if you are doing that, you want to make sure that you're stepping back so you don't over lunge. Now I just want you to pay attention to my left knee. We tend to roll our knee in because it's easier that way, but we want to use that inner groin, inner thigh muscle. So you're using your inner groin to push your knee away, that the knee stacks directly above the heel. So imagine that your knee was reaching towards your pinky toe side. Whew, that is a lot on the thighs. And now with this right hip, you want to make sure that you're squaring your hips out to the side. So this is not warrior one where you're rolling in. You want to open the hips out to the side. Now reach your fingertips forward and plug your shoulder blades in. So this is warrior two. Now you can rest your left forearm onto your thigh, and the right hand extends up to the sky. So we tend to just collapse into here because, you know, it's easier, but even though our hand is resting, we're using our hands to push away so we can find more lift and freedom in this pose. And so we're actually using our side core to lift up. And with my right shoulder, I'm trying not to collapse in, and I'm reaching up and away. So this left hand is simply just a guide for me to push my knee back. Now I'm going to come back into warrior two to find the release and go into reverse warrior. So with my right hand, it is just simply grazing my knee and flipping the left hand back. So I'm grazing my knee because we never want to add extra weight on the knee. So the left heel is pressing down, and now I can actively reach away with my left fingertips. So this is where the traction is coming from. I'm pulling down, I'm pushing down as I pull away. Now inhale, come back into warrior two. So we can go into triangle, straighten the legs, and when we pivot the left hip in, the right hip moves out. And with that simple action, you can already feel your left inner groin stretch, or hamstring stretch. Now reach your left hand forward because we want to find that extension in the spine, because if we're here, we just go into this. we need to find more freedom in our low back. So we reach forward as far as we can and place the hand into your mat, your shin, or your block. I like to use a block sometimes because I don't want to just collapse into this pose. I want to find freedom. I want to find space. So I place my hands onto the block, extend and reach and open. So if you're using your hands, you push into your calf. Use your hand to rotate your shoulders up and then reach up with your hands. So again, even though we're grounding down with the feet, the energy is moving upward. Inhale back into Warrior Two. And that is how we break down the warrior sequence.